Hi, I'm Jen, and I'm here today to walk you through how to do a batch cooking. Make Ahead food has saved our life, our family life, and made my life a lot easier. So I've been batch cooking for over 20 years now. Started when my kids were little. We were very busy running the road, outside playing all day, and the minute we got home, everybody looked at Mom and said, "Hey, we're hungry." And Mom says, "Well, I've been with you all day. I didn't have any food." So I started batch cooking. Anyway, I'm here to walk you through the preparation for a batch cooking. We'll do the batch cooking, I'll record the batch cooking in another time, but today I just wanted to walk you through how to prepare for your batch cooking. Okay, so let's get going. First thing we need to do is pick your day that you're available to cook. Important thing when picking the day is to make sure you have time before that day to do the prep work, because there is preparation. A one-day cooking does not happen in one day. You have at least 2 days involved here. 3, 4 is ideal. So what I do when I'm getting ready for a cook is I start compiling the recipes I want to cook for that time period, and I put them in a computer program. Most of them are already in the computer program. I use MasterCook. It's a great cooking program, easy to get recipes when you find things on the internet to put them in there, or if you have another cooking program, you simply copy and paste them almost instantly into this program. And so from that you can make a menu for your week, and then you can, from that menu, you can put in the number of servings you want, and then it will pull a grocery list for you and print the recipes, and then you're good to go. But let me show you what it looks like. So I've pulled these recipes in MasterCook and printed them out, and then I read them through and made notes, and you can see my notes right here. And what I've done in these brackets, when I've bracketed things together, that means I can mix those together when I'm prepping and they go in the dish at the same time. It's time saver, so you don't have to keep going back up and checking things off. It's all right there. So also with the MasterCook program, so I made my menu, and when I printed it, it does print me an ingredient list of all my ingredients, which is right here. I've laid it out, and again, this is last night that I did all this work. So I laid it out, and I went to my pantry and I pulled all the items that I have on hand, and I checked them off, which you can see on there, and then I made a list of items that I need, my grocery list, and this is my grocery list that I need. You can see it's mostly produce, and if you see cat food on there, I do need to buy that at the grocery store. It's not part of my cooking menu, but I thought I'd compile my whole grocery list at one time. And you'll find that you'll be mostly buying produce. Also on this preparation list, it doesn't print everything out in one section. Like I don't have all my onions in one section. I have onions on this page and onions on this page and this page. So when I read through my recipes, I wrote down in one section, particularly onions and garlic seem to show up in a lot of my recipes. So I went through and did a little prep list. So when I'm prepping my ingredients, I know that I'm going to need this much garlic all minced up. So I'll mince it all at one time, so I'm not constantly mincing garlic. It saves a lot of time. Same with the onions. I know minced, I have all of this that's minced, and then I have some that I have 2 onions that I need to slice thick. I'm just going to prep all my onions at one time when I start my cooking. Then I'll show you my pantry. These are the items that I pulled from the pantry that I will need for the cooking today. You can see I have them grouped in categories, or maybe you can't see because it does look a little disorganized, but it's not. I have my beans, the oils and vinegars, grains, and then seasonings and spices and produce that was not in the refrigerator. It's great to pull these ahead and put them in one spot on your counter. Then you're not wasting a lot of time and energy running back and forth to the pantry. I leave the tray out, so when I finish with a pantry item and I know I'm not going to need it again, I can put it on the tray. When I have a minute or a break or want some more counter space, I can run it back to the pantry and put it away. Next to that, I have my measuring bowls. It's always good to have those out on the counter so you're not digging in the cabinets with dirty hands, and that causes extra cleanup time, extra work, and I'm all about trying to minimize the work. And strainers, I have 3 different size strainers there. You'll always need strainers when you're cooking, and it's good to have a variety of sizes ready so you don't have to dig around and find them when you need it. Now next to that, I have two groups of measuring equipment. I have the wet ingredient measures in the back. So that is anytime that I am going to measure something that may leave something on the measuring equipment and you need to wash it out before you can use it again. And then I have my dry ingredient measures. These I do not wash until I'm finished with the cooking. The more you can avoid washing these, the less work you'll have. What I do is I measure out the dry ingredient, and if I need to, I'll wipe it with a dry towel and put it back. Otherwise, you have to make sure it's thoroughly dry before you measure the next dry ingredient, because it will stick, or you can't stick it into your flour when it's damp. You don't want to leave dampness in your flour. That will spoil it. Okay, so I know for this cooking that I'm going to have a lot of onion and garlic to chop. So I did pull my food processors out and put them on the counter last night. The big one, of course, I'll use for the onions, because there are a lot of onions that need to be chopped, and that small guy is one of my favorite garlic choppers. Picked it up at a garage sale real cheap. It's a Sunbeam. I highly recommend it. And of course, I filled a bottle of water, so I'm ready to go. I'm all prepared for that. And lastly, I pulled out my cutting board, my knife, and my scraper, ready to go. I have that pan. I know I'm going to saute a little bit today, and that was in the dishwasher, so instead of putting it away, I put it on the stovetop, so it'll be there ready for me. The rest of the pots and pans I left in my cabinet, which is right under the stove, so it's pretty easy to get. And then cooling racks. I'll need some cooling racks out. Once you get something off the stove and you need to cool it down, you'll put it on there. Okay, so I just got back from the grocery store and I've got my bags right here. I'm going to go ahead and put the dry ingredients that I had to get. I needed to get a few spices and a can of tomatoes. I'm going to add that to my pantry items. Some hoisin sauce. I don't know how you say that. Okay, I'm going to add that. I'm going to, I have this insulated bag here, and I'm going to keep my heartier vegetables out. I'm going to put them down on the floor at my feet, or you can leave them on the counter, but that way you're not running back and forth to the refrigerator. I'm going to put the parsley and green onions and things like that into the refrigerator with the other items, so they're there and they're protected and they're safe. Spinach as well. And then I'm going to get ready to start cooking. So it's going to be a long day, but I'm gonna make it. I hope you have a lot of success with your home cooking. We'll cover actual cooking and prepping and things like that on another video.